In September 2023, a woman in Manchester had £19,000 in credit card debt across 3 cards. She had been making minimum payments for 4 years. One evening, she opened a debt calculator and ran the numbers. At her current rate, the debt would take 23 years to clear. Total paid £47,000. She owed £19,000. She changed the structure of her payments in October. In December 2004, 14 months later, the balance was zero. She did not increase her income. She did not take out a consolidation loan. No windfall. She changed the structure of her payments. 5 steps in a specific order. The method is not complicated. What is complicated is why nobody explains it this way. In this episode, why minimum payments are structured to extend debt for decades, not years. The psychology study of 6,000 people that shows which method most people actually complete. And one step most people skip: on the day you make the call, your interest rate reduces. Stay with us. I should mention something I did not mention in episode 7. I had £19,000 in credit card debt when I started this series. I described it to my sister as a manageable balance. She has since referred to it as the debt Kai did not mention for 7 episodes. I also described my investment timeline as starting fresh. Both of these statements were technically accurate. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. If you have been following this series, in episode 7 we looked at why starting earlier beats starting with more money. That episode assumes you are ready to invest. Today is for anyone who is not quite there yet, because something else is in the way. If you are carrying high-interest debt, the maths of investing changes. That is what this episode covers. If you are new here, welcome. This episode stands alone. Let us get into it. If you find this useful, subscribe. New episodes every week. Nadia has covered the UK consumer credit market for 8 years. She tracks the TransUnion Credit Industry Insights Report annually and cross-references it with FCA supervision data. She is one of the few financial journalists who writes about the cost of consumer credit rather than its availability. The TransUnion Credit Industry Insights Report 2000-2004 surveyed UK consumer credit balances and interest rates, not the introductory rate on a new card application, the actual rate being paid by people carrying existing balances. The average UK credit card APR for existing cardholders carrying a balance, 22.76%. Source: TransUnion Credit Industry Insights Report, 2024. Not a promotional rate. Not the figure on a new application. The rate most people are paying on the balance they have held for more than 12 months. At 22.76%, a £10,000 balance with minimum-only payments takes approximately 27 years to clear. Total paid, approximately $25,000. The FCA Credit Card Market Study 2016 found that 5.1 million UK cardholders were in persistent debt, paying more in interest and charges than they repaid in principal over an 18-month period. Source: Financial Conduct Authority 2016. The minimum payment is calculated to keep that situation stable, not to resolve it. I thought making the minimum payment was keeping me on top of it. That I was handling it. You were keeping it current. You were not clearing it. The minimum payment on a UK credit card is typically calculated as 1 to 2% of the outstanding balance, or a fixed minimum, whichever is higher. As the balance reduces, the minimum payment reduces. The interest does not reduce at the same rate. The structure is designed to sustain the balance, not eliminate it. At 22.76% APR, a £5,000 balance on minimum-only payments clears in approximately 19 years. Total paid, approximately $9,400. Source: Calculation using TransUnion 2024 average rate, standard 2% minimum model. Each time a minimum payment is processed, the card issuer receives interest income. The minimum is structured to keep that income flowing. So I looked this up. 2 methods. Avalanche, highest interest rate first. Mathematically cheapest. Snowball, smallest balance first. Costs slightly more in interest. Everything online says Avalanche wins. Avalanche wins mathematically. It loses behaviorally. The Kellogg School of Management 2012 study tracks 6,000 people paying down debt using both structures. Source: Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management 2012. The snowball method, smallest balance first, produced significantly higher completion rates. The Harvard Business Review 2016 confirmed the mechanism. Source: Harvard Business Review 2016. When a borrower cleared a debt entirely, regardless of its size, their motivation to continue increased. The psychological signal of a balance reaching zero was measurable. A reduced but not cleared balance did not produce the same signal. Avalanche produces the best outcome if you complete it. Most people do not complete it. My question was, why not invest and clear the debt at the same time? You are building wealth in parallel. Surely that is more efficient? If your debt carries 22% APR and your expected investment return is approximately 10% per year, source, MSCI World Net Return Index, long run average, you are paying 22% to borrow money that earns 10%. Net position, negative 12% on every pound you invest while that debt exists. The market return does not offset the debt cost. The debt cost wins. Wait, so investing while carrying 22% debt is not building wealth in parallel. I am paying 22% to generate 10%. That is not two things working at once. That is losing 12% on every pound I invest. I should have cleared the debt first. The system. The FCA Credit Card Market Study 2016 documented how minimum payment structures on UK credit cards are calculated. Source: Financial Conduct Authority, 2016. A cardholder with a £10,000 balance at 22% APR, making only the minimum payment, would take approximately 27 years to clear the debt, paying approximately £15,000 in interest alone. This calculation is available on any debt calculator. It does not consistently appear in the communication that sets up the minimum payment direct debit. Right. The method. 5 steps. In order. The order matters. Each step changes what the next one costs. Step 1. Stop the bleed. Before any payment restructure, find and cancel every non-essential recurring payment. Waterfall Research 2023 found the average UK household carries 4.3 forgotten subscriptions, averaging £47 per month. Source: Waterfall Research, £2,000 a month, compounding at 0%. Cancel first, then restructure. Step 2. List. 1 list. Every debt, balance, minimum payment, interest rate. This step feels unnecessary. It is not. The list is what tells you which debt to attack first in Step 4. Step 3. Automate minimums. Set up a direct debit for the minimum payment on every debt, except the one you are attacking. This removes the decision from the process. The minimums pay themselves. You make one active choice per month. Step 4. Snowball. Every pound left after the automated minimums, put it on the smallest balance. Not the highest rate, the smallest balance. When that balance reaches 0, take everything you are paying on it and add it to the next smallest. Each time one clears, your available payment grows. The method accelerates through the list. Step 5. Roll the payment. When the last debt clears, do not adjust your spending to absorb the freed cash. The direct debit stays the same amount, the destination changes. It now goes to your ISA or pension. The habit already exists. The payment is automated. You change where it goes. This is the step that connects debt clearance to wealth building. Maya cleared debt twice before building her investment portfolio. She ran the same 5-step structure each time. She checks one thing before she recommends it to anyone. Before you restructure any payments, answer this. Do you know the actual interest rate on every debt you carry? Not what you think it is, but the rate on your most recent statement. If you cannot answer that question, open the app and find out before you do anything else. You cannot optimize something you have not measured. One list, one attack at a time. Set the minimums and forget them. Do it once. Make it automatic. Then leave it to run. Right. Quick one. 30 seconds. Stay with us because this is the part most people miss. Creditcards.com surveyed cardholders in the UK and US in 2024. Source: Creditcards.com 2024. 70% of those who called their card issuer and simply asked for a lower interest rate received one. Average call time: 4 minutes. This step is not in the documentation that comes with the credit card. Calling takes 4 minutes. In most scenarios, the interest rate reduces on the day you make it. Right, back into it. Lightning round. 5 facts, 90 seconds. Fact 1. The average UK credit card APR for existing balances, 22.76% in 2024. Source: TransUnion Credit Industry Insights Report, 2024. The Bank of England base rate in the same period, 5.25%. The spread between the base rate and the average credit card rate, 17.51 percentage points. That spread is income to the card issuer. It is cost to the cardholder. Fact 2. The Kellogg School of Management 2012 study tracked 6,000 debt repayment accounts. Source: Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management 2012. Borrowers who eliminated their smallest balance first, regardless of interest rate, were significantly more likely to eliminate all their debt. The mechanism: a paid-off account produces a psychological completion signal that a partially paid account does not generate. Fact 3. Waterfall Research 2023 surveyed UK household subscription spending. Source: Waterfall Research 2023. The average UK household carries 4.3 subscriptions they no longer actively use, at a combined average cost of £47 per month. Over 1 year, £563. directed at a credit card balance at 22.76% APR in additional payments reduces total interest paid by approximately £200 over the life of the debt. Fact 4. The ONS Annual Survey of Hours and Earnings 2023 found the UK median monthly take-home pay is approximately £2,000. Source: Office for National Statistics 2023. A person with £19,000 in credit card debt at 22.76% APR on minimum-only payments would direct approximately £361 to interest charges in month 1 alone. Not to the balance. To interest. That is 15% of 1 month's median take-home pay, paid to maintain the debt, not reduce it. Fact 5. The CreditCards.com 2204 survey found that 70% of UK and US cardholders who asked their issuer for a lower APR received one. Source: CreditCards.com 2004. Median wait time, under 5 minutes. Of those who did not receive a reduction, 41% were offered a promotional balance transfer instead. The call produces a result in most scenarios. Most people do not make it. The 1% detail for this episode. A detail from the FCA Credit Card Market Study 2016. Source: Financial Conduct Authority 2016. When the FCA required UK card issuers to contact persistent debt customers directly, those paying more in interest than principal for 18 consecutive months, and offer a repayment plan, 2.4 million customers were contacted. 56% engaged and began an accelerated repayment plan. The repayment information had been available on request at any time. The customer had not requested it. What they never tell you. The minimum payment on a UK credit card is calculated to produce a repayment period measured in decades, not years. The FCA Credit Card Market Study 2016. Source: Financial Conduct Authority 2016 found 5.1 million UK cardholders were making minimum-only payments, a material proportion for more than 3 years. The calculation showing the total cost was available on any debt calculator. It was not included in the direct debit confirmation letter that set up the minimum payment. Episode 8 showed why minimum payments are structured to extend debt, which clearance method people actually complete, and the 5 steps in the order that clear it fastest. Episode 9 asks what comes after. The debt is gone. The direct debit is free. One purchase, 3,500 companies. The structure that lets compound interest work for you instead of against you. Subscribe. New episodes every week. The debt cleared in month 14. The £1,400 a month I had been putting toward the cards, I set up a direct debit to my ISA in 8 minutes. I then spent 4 hours reading about whether I should have been using a SIP instead. I made a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet has 7 tabs. Tab 5 is labeled ISA versus SIP versus both. My sister asked how it was going. I sent her the spreadsheet. She replied, "You were easier to talk to when you had the debt." I consider this progress. Next episode is up there. Subscribe is over there. Both are better than whatever you were about to do instead. I know this because I have watched the next episode. I understand all of it. I have done approximately none of it yet. That is what the subscribe button is for.